Assalamualaikum and very good afternoon, Malaysia. Malaysia recently have been very concerned about suicide caused by depression, especially among teenagers. Hi, I'm Izzati Shadi and you're watching Malaysia Today. Now, we'll be discussing deeply on the topic about depression among teenagers. Firstly, we will show you some videos that catch Malaysian attention.
The Form 2 schoolgirl who hung herself after being accused of stealing her teacher's iPhone passed away early Thursday morning. The 14-year-old passed away in Seberang Jaya Hospital without regaining her consciousness. She was later taken home after the post-mortem. When asked if legal action will be taken against the teacher, the girl's father said they wish to focus on performing prayers at the moment. The funeral is expected to be held at 1 p.m. on Friday. She tried to hang herself with a shawl at her house a few hours after being accused of stealing the handphone on Wednesday. A note was left to her parents to say that she did not steal the phone. Meanwhile, South Seberang Praya Police Chief Superintendent Shafi Abdul Samad confirmed that the police have completed its investigation over the case under Section 309 of the Penal Code for attempted suicide.
To be better understand this event, we will talk with Dr. Nisa Syukur, who is an expert in depression, and we also have Miss Liana Nadira, who is CEO of Befriend, the non-government organization who is participate closely to help depression patients. And finally, we have a person that survived from depression, who is Miss Hani Shafinas, to share her experience on our show. So we are going to start with Dr. Nisa. Dr. Nisa will tell us what is depression and what causes depression.
Well, major depressive disorder or depression is a psychological state of mind that is hard to cure, hard to endure, and hard to live with. Fortunately, it is also treatable. It is a common and serious medical illness that negatively affects the way you think, how you act, and the way you feel. People suffer from depression for many reasons, but there are several factors that can play a role in depression. First, biochemistry, difference in certain chemicals in the brain. Second, genetic depression can run in a family. For example, an identical twin, if one of the twins had depression, the other one will have 70% possibility to have depression once in their life. Third, personality. People with low self-esteem, who are easily overwhelmed by stress, who are generally pessimistic to be more likely to experience depression. And lastly, the environmental factors. Continuous exposure to violence, neglect, abuse, or poverty may make some people more vulnerable to depression.
So doctor, I've been told that some of the patients, they didn't realize that they had depression. So could you share with us what is the symptom of the depression?
So basically, depression symptom can change from mild to severe. For example, feeling sad or having a depressed mood, loss of interest or pleasure in activity that one enjoy, change in appetite, weight loss or weight gain unrelated to dieting, trouble of sleeping or sleeping too much, loss of energy or increased fatigue, slow movement and speech, feeling worthless or guilty, difficult thinking, concentrating or making decision, and the most worst case is the thought of death or commit suicide.
Thank you, doctor, for the clear explanation. Statistics by the American Psychiatric Association that depression is among the most treatable of mental disorder. About 80% to 90% people with depression eventually respond well to treatment. There's a lot of organizations willingly help the depression patients. Let's go to Miss Liana Nadira for a response. Miss, what you and your team do to help depression patients and how do the depression treated?
Befriend provide a service for the patients to call us and share their problems. The conversations are private and confidential, so they didn't have to worry about it. We studied that most of the patients have trust issues with the people surrounding, or they might feel shame for what they have done. Hence, they keep their problems or thought of themselves, and it will lead to depression. This is like the first step for them to help themselves. However, They also could set an appointment with our psychiatrist for better result. The mild depression usually can be treated. Psychotherapy may involve only the individual, but it can include others too. For example, family or couple therapy can help address issues within those close relationships. Group therapy involves people with similar illness.
How long does it take for the patient to be fully recovered?
Okay, depending on the severity of the depression, treatment can take a few weeks or much longer. In many cases, significant improvement can be made in 10 to 15 sessions.
So how about the patients with moderate to severe depression?
For moderate to severe depression patients, the psychotherapy is often used along with antidepressant medication. This is the second way to treat depression. I will explain about the medication. Brain chemistry may contribute to an individual's depression and may factor into their treatment. For this reason, antidepressants could be prescribed to help modify one's brain chemistry. Antidepressants may produce some improvement within the first week or two of use. The psychiatrist can alter the dose of the medication if the patient feels little or no improvement after several weeks. Psychiatrists usually recommend that patients continue to take medication for six to more months after symptoms have improved.
What if the patient did not respond for both treatment? Is there any other way to help them?
In those cases, electroconvulsive therapy, which is ECT, will be used to treat patients with severe major depression or bipolar disorder. It involves a brief electrical stimulation of the brain while the patient is under anesthesia. A patient typically receives ECT 2 to 3 times a week for a total of 6 to 12 treatments. ECT has been used since 1940s and many years of research have led to a major improvement.
Wow, I never know that this kind of therapy exists.
Hi, I'm Ariana, a fashion designer and also a writer. I am 21 years old. I'm living with depression disorder. I've seen the darkness when the disease comes. I've started to lose my interest to do my favorite things. Depression disorder is not a mood. It is really a disease that makes my life off track. But today, I'm proud to say that I'm able to conquer this mental problem when I get right education, support and treatment. I'm dealing with my mental problem through design. This is the way for me to get my life to be better, and thanks to Malaysian Mental Health Association that gave me a great advice and good treatment. That was awesome. Why should I share my story? It is because people who had depression disorder can gain an inspiration and be motivated to live happily. By talk to family members, friends, and psychiatrists, it can improve your life. And here, I want to encourage young people and create self-awareness towards this. Malaysian Mental Health Association is an organization that helps young people dealing with mental treatment and provide service rehabilitative. The objective of this organization is to encourage young people to live healthy. In the meantime, if you know someone that needs help, please reach out for support and asking for help. Do not give up on life.
Now we will hear the real story from Miss Hani Shafinas, who survived from depression that almost take away her life. What is the main reason you to start feeling depressed?
I lost someone important in my life, which is my dad. When I was 5 years old, my parents divorced. and my mom refused to take care of me. She said that I'm a burden and they didn't plan to have me. Since then, my dad take care of me and take her responsibility to take care of me. As I grown up, I feel unworthy when I see my friends' moms kiss their children after sending them to school. And I was sent by my driver. However, my dad is always there for me. He will comfort me when I'm down. For me, he is everything. But unfortunately, on my 18th birthday, my dad died in a car accident on his way back to celebrate my birthday. Since then, I feel depressed because I always blame myself for my father death and blame God for being not fair.
I'm so sorry to hear that. Can you share with us the symptoms that you felt?
Okay. At first, I began needing quiet time after a long day at the college. I didn't sleep and always cried all the time. Gradually, I began to dodge mirrors, simply getting myself to get ready for class, and socializing became a burden for me. I blew up my friends daily with excuses ranging from I need to save money to just making excuse stuff for entirely. Soon, it became easy to ignore the phone since to effort to create an excuse to avoid plans. It got to a point where I always let my phone die. I started to lose my weight because my friends used to eat together and I hate it. I choose to not take any meal rather than I need to be socialized with them. So I lost 10 kilograms in a month.
10 kilo?
Yes,
Wow,
10
that's
kilos.
much.
The thought of commit suicide is always in my mind. I swear that was the worst feeling ever for me.
So how do you seek for help?
My best friend is the one who's so concerned about me. She persuaded me to seek for help from a therapist. I'm committed to attending the therapist session religiously and seeing the peace psychiatrist to get my antidepressant medication to re-examine. I started to socialize. I share my story in my Instagram and Twitter account. Alhamdulillah, I got a lot of moral support from my followers.
Yeah.
My whole life, I thought that no one loved me and care about me except my dad. But now I still get a lot of message that I am inspire them a lot.
That's good.
You're such a strong person, Ms. Shubinas. We are so proud of you. Thank you so much for your sharing. Before we end this show, let me hear some tips from Dr. Nisa.
I just want to share with all of you some anti-depression tips. First, stay focused on what you are doing. Start with a small goal and fulfill it. For example, go to shop, take a short walk, or make a telephone call. Just start to take action and stick to doing it. Second, develop supportive relationship, turning to people who love you or whom you love. Refrain from retreating yourself, sharing a meal, emailing, accompanying your friends to the movie, confide in a counselor or clergy member. Third, get interest in your own life. For this, have 8 hours of sleep. Practice relaxation technique and go easy on yourself. Why not to practice yoga or tai chi, right? And why not to introduce a meditative element to your life? Fourth, get regular exercise twice a week. Fifth, eat healthy food. Make sure you get a balanced diet. 6. Avoid negative thinking and negative emotion. And finally, ask for help if you cannot overcome your depression without outside aid. So that's all from me.
For the tips, and thank you to all our panelists for the sharing.